oh, 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 oh. You do it now. Come
Yeah.
on. Oh, 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 oh. Today, Patricia Guzman in Mexico is going to teach you something that's going to make you howl like a wolf. Woo, 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 woo. What would that be, Patricia?
We are going to be painting a wolf's eye today.
A wolf's eyes.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We're going to get those eyes today. Terrific. Okay. Tell me a little bit about the painting we're going to do.
Well, the wolf is a part of a bigger, bigger painting that I'm working on. Unfortunately, I cannot show the whole painting because of exclusivity reasons, but this part I can show, and it's going to be very interesting because the eyes ultimately are, the windows to the soul. And in this case, the wolf is a very fundamental part of the painting, and the wolf's there is so important. And actually, it's so similar to human eyes, So
really, if you want to learn to paint human eyes or pet eyes, today would be a good eye day.
Exactly. That's right.
All right. One more time. Oh, 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 oh. Let's get this show started.
It's Art School Live with Eric Rhoads. Now, here's your host, Eric Rhoads.
Oh, oh, oh. Okay, everybody do it. Everybody go into the comments and do your best comment of a wolf sound. Patricia Guzman in Mexico is going to be teaching us how to paint the eyes of a wolf today in a very top secret painting that she's doing. She can't show us the whole painting because there's a whole confidentiality thing, but she's allowed to show us this one little piece where she's painting the wolf and painting the eyes of the wolf. It's going to be really terrific. I hope you're having a great day. Let's show you some of Patricia's work right now, just so you get a feel. Look at that. She is the real deal. Oh my, that's absolutely stunning. Oh my, that's really terrific as well. Okay, so now you have a feel for, oh, there's more. Wow, she paints large. I think you're going to learn a lot about painting eyes today. I think this is going to be a really, really good lesson. We're here every weekday at 12 noon giving you free lessons. And so now Patricia is taking over, and hopefully she's got her camera all set up and ready to go. And we're going to be painting the eyes. Okay, so let's do this. Patricia, here we go. Patricia, you're on live. You got it all set up. Good.
Good. All right.
All right. So tell us exactly what surface you're painting on.
So this is an oil painting, and it's on, oops, sorry. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay. So this is, this is oil. And as you can see, I already have a sense of what's going to happen. I have a value map where you can see the dark areas, and this will be some of the highlights and this darker area of the eye. So I'm going to be working on around here, and I have some colors here in my palette, which are some of my pre-mixing, and you can see my grayscale over here, and some colors and some isolated other colors that I'm going to be using.
Okay.
So this pre-mixing is very basic. It's like the local area, like local colors, and just to have an idea of a sense of some light colors, middle values, and darker colors. And this is my medium. And okay, so I'm going to start, and I'm going to be painting from dark to light. And
any particular reason you're going from dark to light?
Yes. Well, in this case, when working with oil painting, which is like completely different when working with watercolor, I paint both, and also acrylic painting as well. But the reason here is that it is way easier to go from dark to light, because then you can add the highlights until the end, and the white is not going to be interfering with the darker colors. So the white, or I mean not white of course, but the highlights are going to be on the top, compared to watercolor, where you have to save the light areas and work around them, right? Watercolor mainly, or the way that I work it, is from light to dark. So it's, you know, as if I was driving in the UK and changing seats to the other side. I mean, just having everything backwards. And I have this idea that oil painting is, you know, like a golden retriever, because it wants to make you happy, you know, it wants to collaborate and to make everything smooth and just make everything happen. But and that's amazing, of course. And whereas watercolor is more like a cat, because you have to be super patient and you have to really listen to what the cat or the watercolor wants. You cannot, I mean, it's like letting things happen in the time that they are going to happen and allow the painting to just do what it needs to do. But both are magicals. I mean, both are really, really great. So as you can see, I'm just blocking in the bigger shapes. I'm not thinking that this is an eye. I'm just looking at the abstract shape that this darker area is creating. It's like a shape that ends on both sides in a triangle way. And then I'm going to start working around to have some setup around, right? So the first pass was mainly, I mean, as you can see, monochromatic, but all of these warm lights, I'm still going to be using them because they are going to show through the rest of the painting. And now I'm going to look for another brush to see if I can have a better sense of what I want. So I'm just, okay, let's work with this one and see if it's going to do what I want. Of course, I'm not going to be painting each little hair, but what I need to do is to suggest and to have a nice sense of depth.
What is the key to making fur look soft when you're painting it?
Well, you have to make sure everything looks united, like this, for example, transitions from dark to light. You want to make sure you have some middle values around both areas so that they unify both. Sometimes we make the mistake of just looking so much at a local, you know, area, and it's also super important to step back and to look like from a 3-meter distance and to see what's really going on. And that way you can change values so that the painting looks unified, and in this case unity will be through the softness of the hairs and of all of these. Okay.
You guys just tuned in. Our guest today is Patricia Guzman in Mexico, and she's going to teach us how to paint the eyes of animals, but in this particular case, a wolf.
Yeah.
Right now, this wolf is pretty chill, not howling.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's just staring, just looking.
And this is part of a bigger, much, much bigger commission that she's doing, but she cannot show it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. In some weeks you can tune into my social media or page, and then you will be able to see the whole painting. And it's really big. This is like, I mean, in meters, it is 1 centimeter and 60, 160, 1 meter 60 centimeters wide, and 1 meter 20 centimeters height. So this is really big. And actually, I mean, I really like really big paintings, so so I'm just working a little bit around to have some sense of what's going on. I'm going to grab some burnt umber to have a little bit of warm color, and in this case, the burnt umber is going to help create the illusion of some of the halftones that will help me find the unity across the painting. All right, so let's keep on moving. Now you can see how I'm doing this kind of large brush strokes, but at the same time I'm allowing some of the previous layer to show through. And actually here, one of my dog's hair is doing its work, just showing through. All right, so okay. All right, so to me this is important so that I do have some sort of context before starting to paint the eye, to know what's going on. And I'm following the direction of the hairs, of course, to have the movement of the face and its muscles. So now it's becoming evident that by starting from dark to light, the colors are starting to blend nicely. And as you can see, I'm suggesting, I'm not really painting hair by hair. Okay. Okay, so let's start now into the eye. And same thing, I'm going to start from dark to light. And I'm going to take a smaller brush for this. Actually, watercolor brushes are really useful for this kind of detail. Just looking for my brush. Okay, here it is. Okay, all right, so this is way smaller. And same thing, I'm going to start with the darker colors. I'm going to get closer to the painting, and okay.
So do you always use a pure black in the middle of the eye?
Yes, I mean, this is actually a mix of gold, black, and sepia. But yes, I prefer to mix my own blacks to give the to give the warm or cool finish that I want. And it's easier for me to start directly with the super darks because then I know how my values need to come across the whole painting.
So this painting you're doing, I'm told, is 1.6 meters, which equals 5'3" That's a big painting.
Yeah.
So where will something like that hang? Will this go to a home or a museum or a hotel or what kind of thing?
This is for a museum exhibit right here in Querétaro, where I live.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is a well. Besides the wolf, there is a child, a girl, and 3 women, and so it's a multi-figure painting, and it was quite challenging, and especially always painting an idea. I think it's like the hardest because it's coming from not from something we are looking at, right, but from something we are feeling. Yeah. So this is an intention of talking about childhood, and of course me being a woman, and as a woman representing the unity across women and in supporting childhood. Yeah.
Then what is the significance of the wolf?
Oh, the wolf is also like, in a way, the 3 adult women are the representation of the child as, their own, like the same self, but in a future date, in a future time, like showing 3 different sides of her. And the wolf would be also a representation of her instinct and her braveness, and just to feel, to allow to feel, to be connected with your own guts and with your own curiosity, and not allowing from the exterior to shut your voice from within. So many times culture or people wanting the best from us sometimes can be really harmful, and it's like a way of saying, just stay with you, like don't betray yourself, don't betray what you feel, and that'll be the wolf. So now I'm starting to move to some of the lighter colors, and I'm using gold color and alizarin to create a kind of orangey color, but because this is mixed with gold color instead of yellow ochre or any other yellow, it's kind of reflecting back the light, giving a nice sense of brightness. And now I'm going to be using some of my light. Okay, just going to take a little green over here. Just a second. Okay, so this is my green gold, which is super nice for these greens. Okay, all right.
Can you show it to us again?
The green gold.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show the tube?
Well, if you can, if it's not too much hassle, maybe just lift your palette up.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. So.
Okay. So it's actually, it looks like it's a metallic color.
This is the gold.
Yeah.
And this is green gold.
Yeah.
And this is ochre, but I'm not really using that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so I'm starting to move from the super darks to half tones.
Okay. If anybody paints animals, go say so in the chat. Paint any kind of animals, say what you like to paint. I've never painted a wolf, I know that.
Okay.
I painted a dog.
Ah, nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
I painted my dog in a military uniform.
All right. Do you have more dogs or one only?
I have 2 dogs. I haven't painted these 2 dogs.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have now 3 dogs, and the last one was a rescue. I mean, it wasn't really something we programmed, but she reminds me a lot. I think that this painting, this wolf, is in a way her, because she is very observant of things, and she really wants to learn fast, to don't do mistakes, and she's like, but at the same time it reminds me like a very kind of wild stare. Okay, so now I'm here adding these halftones in the middle of the eye, and I'm going to be adding some of the green gold and a little bit of ultramarine blue over here. So I have a lot of control with this little brush, this watercolor brush actually, to be able to paint these little details. This is a synthetic brush and it's working really nice. So I'm grabbing some of titanium white, gold and green gold to now start to move on into lighter colors. Okay, I need it to be a bit darker.
If you just tuned in, our guest today is Patricia Guzman in Mexico, and she's working on the eyes of a wolf. Oh.
Yeah.
I think I've played that out. I think I better give up on that.
Once upon a time in Canada, I worked with real wolves in a sanctuary, and it was such an amazing experience. And they feel so different. I mean, the way of looking at you, and I mean, it's incredible. Something I will forever remember. And of course,
And were they tame or were they wild?
well, they were rescued because, yeah, they were found in difficult situations. So they were tamed in a way, but not like dogs. I mean, we were able to walk with them because they controlled them with food. So they were giving them food at the same time that we were walking with them, so that they don't try to hunt you down. They aren't hungry. But yeah, I mean, they were not treated like dogs or anything.
Yeah, it's always nice to know that the animals you're caring for can rip your head off.
Yeah. I mean, you have to really feed them, to don't forget any meal.
Otherwise you're the meal.
Yeah, exactly. I think if, sometimes I've thought that if I wasn't a painter, I would be working with animals, like in this case with rescued animals. I think I would do that. And because I
Right.
love them so much, I am painting them. So when I first started painting, like 20 years ago, what I started to paint were commissions, like portrait commissions of dogs and cats and then dogs, and that was really great because they really taught me so much about capturing the expression first in the photo, which is such a challenge, right? They move so much, and especially horses being so nervous. But of course, I love them, and they really taught me to be patient and to find that position in their bodies or in their faces, even if of course in their stare, to really try to catch that expression that lasts like a millisecond, and then to try to paint that, because of course the owners know their pets, or I mean their horses, like perfectly, so they know if you were able to really capture them.
Right.
And that, I mean, that really gave me so much. And then when I started painting my personal series of indigenous portraits, indigenous people portraits, then that experience gave me so much, because I mean, photographing people is of course very exciting and very challenging, but not as challenging as a animal, because I mean you can give directions, or you can take a photo from far away. But then trying to paint that was after working, after painting with animals, with all these portraits and all this experience, then it wasn't that difficult to move on into people. So I always say that that was like my university, like starting like that. So yeah, so I'm trying to, I'm incorporating animals into my paintings to show these other symbols of what they mean to me. And the first paintings, that I sold in my life happened when I was 16 years old.
Oh, nice.
And I really wanted to ride horses, but of course it was very expensive to me, like impossible to pay. So I asked the owner of the club if I could paint her horse portraits and trade them for riding lessons. And to my surprise, she said yes.
Wow.
Really amazing, because then,
Wow.
yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty brave for 16 years old.
Well, yeah. So that was really nice, because then I learned that through painting I could get things that seemed to be like impossible to me. So that was a life lesson too. Yeah.
That eye really is looking three-dimensional. You can really see the glare on it. It's really beautiful.
So that's the magic of values, of using the right values, and to do the good transition of darks, the darkest darks, the middle values, the highlights. And you have to be very careful of not changing something, like not even 1 millimeter, because then it's going to look so different, and the expression will change with a minimal change in the painting. So I really, and of course that's my fascination, and I really enjoy realism and feeling like the person or the animal is really live in front of me, and that I can feel, you know, like his stare, and actually
Yeah, he's definitely staring.
Hmm.
It's like, I'm going to eat you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, where did you get your reference from?
Well, this is actually from from this trip in Canada. One of those photos. I mean, I took hundreds of them. This wolf was named Tuck.
Tuck.
Yeah. And that was actually a while ago, but of course, I mean, I keep them. I have hundreds and, well, thousands of photos for future paintings. You know, you never know when you are going to use those. So if there is something I collect, then that will be images.
Yeah, well, I have like a billion years worth of slides that I need to convert to digital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I could probably go back and paint a lot of them because there were a lot of beautiful places I visited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I always take all these photos on trips thinking I'll make paintings of them, but I don't. I typically do plein air paintings and then I'm like, okay, that's enough. I did that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay, so
What we'll do before we wrap up, everybody, we'll ask Patricia to hold her camera up a lot closer so we can get a real good close up of that eye.
Okay.
All right. Don't let me forget.
Mm-hmm. No. How much time do we have left?
Oh, we got plenty. Enough you could do both eyes probably if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Depending
So,
on how much more you have to develop that. So one of the things I'm curious about is, the white dot in the eye. I've heard a lot of different things about that. So I'll tell you what I've heard. I've heard when painting a human portrait that if you put a white dot in both eyes, then it makes the person look stupid. I don't believe that to be true. I've also heard that one should be brighter than the other. I've heard that you should only do one. So I'm just curious, is there a should in your case?
well, I do like to have one eye darker than the other so that there is a focus area on the face. To allow for one eye to step up. But you know, when we communicate, when we talk to somebody, we are looking to both eyes, right? We are not just looking to one eye. So, and that's, I mean, of course, the eyes are super important. But yeah, I mean, in this case, this is going to be because the light is coming from my right to the left, then this eye is going to look way lighter compared to this one. This one is going to be in shadow. But I mean, that's the whole way the whole painting is set up. So that side is going to be lighter. But I mean, yes, I do prefer to have change in values. But about the highlights in both eyes, as long as I have them in the correct area where they need to be, then to me that's fine. I mean, I will add both highlights. I mean, in both eyes, but most of the times the highlights are going to. Oh, sorry about that. Are going to be changing to be not exactly the same area of these highlights. I mean, in this case, the highlight will come around here.
Now,
So,
is the highlight, it looks like it's not a pure white. It looks like it's a muted value.
yeah, that's right. So this is very light right now, and I'm going to grab some direct titanium white, but my brush is not clean, super clean, and that's perfect because I don't want it to be like white from the tube. I mean, so here we go.
Nice.
Yeah. And there is another highlight on the other side, but this is going to be gray.
Huh.
Over here.
Oh, just very subtle.
Exactly. And these subtleties are going to create such a nice feeling in the end. They will convey that sense of reality and and the expression.
Okay, so Patricia, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come right back, and then we're gonna get to see the rest of this develop. So thank you so much. We'll be right back. Our guest today is Patricia Guzman. She's in Mexico, and we're really happy to have her here. Today we're painting the eye of the wolf. All right. Hope you guys are having a really good day. Oh man, this has been a busy week, kind of trying to juggle a lot of things. So thank you guys for tuning in today. We're here every weekday at 12 noon. If you're not a subscriber, please do. Just go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and of course, look up Art School Live if you're not on YouTube. All right, that'd be terrific. We have a free gift for you, and that is, what is our free gift today? 97 incredible art secrets from the world's finest artists. It's a 2-hour video, yours for free. You can stream it instantly, or if you want a DVD, you just have to pay the shipping on that, okay? And it's really, really valuable. Just go to 97artsecrets.com/ASL. Okay, so I've been talking about the big event, which really starts tomorrow. That's the plein air convention. But I also want to tell you about a couple other things that are happening. First off, there are a couple of seats left to my publisher's invitational Paint the Adirondacks. If you're not familiar with the Adirondacks in upstate New York is protected land. It's can fit 3 of the largest national parks in America into it. And it's absolutely stunning. We have lots of waterfalls, lots of mountains, lots of beauty. And it's a week of painting without stress. We paint together. You don't have to be accomplished. You can be at any level. We're just hanging out together, having a good time, having our meals together. We put you up, we feed you, and we paint together for a week, and then you're home before Father's Day. And that is paintadirondacks.com. We also have something very similar coming up this fall, and it's in beautiful Door County, Wisconsin. It's going to be stunning, and it's called Fall Color Week. And so similar concept, it's just that we paint fall color. Door County, Wisconsin is it's world class. Look it up. They call it the Cape Cod of the Midwest. It's on Lake Michigan. There's all these big, it's like painting at the ocean, big waves, big outcroppings of rocks, and of course, all this beauty. And there's a lot more variety than there would be in some place like Maine, because there's also a lot of farms and a lot of things like that to paint. So come join us. That's at fallcolorweek.com. Okay, now let's get back to Patricia. What are we going to do next?
Okay, so now I'm going to work a little bit more. I think I can move closer so that you can see the eye better.
All right.
For all these little details that I want to add.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
And okay. I think that's good enough.
Yeah, I'm surprised you have room to paint.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So some little details. I want to add some yellows around.
That was really helpful about that gray highlight. That really makes it look three-dimensional to me.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, I need it. So it'll depend how much detail do we want, but in this case, being the eye and the wolf's eye, it's, yeah, I really want this to really stand up.
The brush is almost like a single hair.
Yeah, and this is actually number 2, round brush, synthetic. This is not really that small, because I mean there are some brushes like super really small, but no, this one is, I mean, we can work. Okay. And it's nice to have some texture as well. I mean, I'm not really using any texture medium. This is just from the oil painting.
Straight from the tube, huh?
Exactly. And all these nuances of color, they are so nice. Oops, sorry. So
Figures?
a bit of highlight over here. And now some darks on the other side. And okay, ultramarine blue and dark gray to darken this side a bit more. And now some of my black mixture.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, right? It kind of pop up.
Now, what is that mixture that you put on there? It's like a gray?
Yes, a dark gray.
Almost feels transparent.
Yes, and that's because this is a bit lighter, then that it's creating this sense of transparency. But now this is just like a visual effect to make sure the eye really stands out. Okay, and then I'll bring some of the darkest dark over here. You can see I kind of loaded the brush, and I'm going to add this to make sure this really looks like a black. And then there is a higher contrast between the highlights and this dark, and it'll pop up even more. And then of course I can continue around the eye, and with this brush it'll allow me to to control much more the hairs around, which is nice. I mean, it's nice. In this case, around the eye, I would definitely give a lot of detail, but on the surrounding areas, I will suggest, as we did in the beginning, with the bigger brush, and just to kind of give the sense, the idea of the hairs. I really love the smell of oil painting. All right. Okay, so I can move around. And then I'm going to move to lighter darks. And this is kind of like cross-hatching. I mean, not really. This is like just following the movement of... Okay, let's see if this... Okay, this is a long brush, so a long handle, so yeah, this is working. All right. So now you can see how I can suggest, and it'll give a more natural feeling of the hairs instead of painting one by one. Ah. Pero dale, amore. Ah, okay, sorry. So this is...
Just tell them there's only a couple million people watching.
Yeah. Well, this is, you know, the artist life. Just multitasking every time, every day. Oops. Yeah, that's the long handle. Okay, so same thing, starting from dark blacks. Well, and it's very helpful to have a map of value and then painting on top. Okay.
Well, that is so convincing.
Yeah. Without having to paint each hair, right? So. So as I work the surrounding areas, the eye is going to be even more real. Okay, all right. Let's keep on moving.
All right. So you're darkening a little bit too, and that's making it stand out even more.
Yeah.
I think you should put secret messages in the eyeball.
Oh.
Like in little tiny letters that look like as part of the eye. I'm going to eat you. Little subliminal messages. That's pretty transparent paint you're using, right?
Yes, I mean, kind of diluted. In this case, I'm using a gel kind of medium to dilute the painting a bit so that it allows for this sense of hairs. Mm-hmm.
Feels soft, and that's kind of feels like a dry brushing technique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, that's right. I think it doesn't really matter what medium we are painting. In the end, this is like the way my mind works, and this is something I would be doing with watercolor as well. And it's really interesting how different mediums will, you know, you know, have a conversation between them. And then in my mind, I start to think, okay, then what about if I do this with, I mean, something that I do with oil painting, then I can try that with watercolor and vice versa.
Hey,
And
Patricia.
yes.
My apologies, but we've got to the point where we've run out of time.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to have to go, but I want to encourage everybody to go to Patricia's website. We've put it in the chat, and to check out her Instagram, and make sure that you see it. Can you come back on camera real quickly so we can say goodbye?
Okay. I think so.
Okay, we'll try it. Okay. Well, that's terrific. Well, I was so mesmerized. I realized the time got away from me, and we're timed it. We got to wrap it up, but it's so great to see that, and to see the depth and the glare and the sense. You could do that with any eyeball, whether it's an animal eye or any other eye. I'd love for you guys to post your eye images, and make sure you leave a comment for Patricia. Okay, let's bring her back. Okay, where is she? Well, I'm glad that you were able to do this for us, Patricia. It was fabulous. What a great lesson. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric, for having me. And yeah, you can check my website, and I also teach online, so you can write directly to me.
All right, terrific. Well, thank you again for doing this today.
Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye. Well, thanks again to Patricia. That was absolutely fabulous. I love it. We need some sound effects, but it's not Halloween. Okay, you guys can do that. I hope you had a really good time today. Now, we're here every weekday at 12 noon, and on Mondays, we do marketing tips. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have guest artists, and sometimes I'm guest hosting. I mean, sometimes I'm hosting, sometimes I have a guest host. Usually I'm here. And Friday, Feedback Friday, I do feedback. And so we try to give that for you every single week. Now, there's going to be an extended period of time coming up pretty soon when I'm going to be sayonara. No, nothing's wrong. I'm going to China. And as a result, it's going to be hard for me to do the show from China, if you can imagine. So I am going to have some guest hosts and so on. But that's after, not this week, not next week, but after next week, or a little further than that. But after my publisher's invitational. Love for you guys to come. That would be really fun to paint together. And if you can't come to that, come to Fall Color Week in the fall. That's going to be fun too. And if you want to really have a blast, I think there's still maybe a seat or two left for Switzerland. And so you want to check out paintswitzerland.com, and it is going to be spectacular. That's in October. And if you really want to do it, just do it all. Okay, well, guys, thank you again for tuning in today, and have a really terrific day. We will see you next time.